NAPTIP arrests 8 suspected human traffickers. Nigeria's population hits 198 million. Nigerian Army set to host African Land Forces Summit, and President Buhari extends VADE's deadline. These and many more stories in a moment. I am Nten Ekman with the AM News on television Nigerian. The Benin Zonal Command of the National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, has arrested 8 suspected human traffickers in the past 3 months. The Zonal Commander for the agency, Mr. Nduka Nwanen, stated that a total of 138 people were rescued by the agency within the period, and that 124 of the trafficked people were already reunited with their families, while 89 cases of trafficking are currently pending in various courts in the zone. Mr. Nwanen further revealed that in spite of the renewed and drastic measures put in place by government and traditional institutions to stop human trafficking, some people were still adamant on doing the business. A recent statistics from the National Population Commission has put Nigeria's current population at 198 million people, with urban population growing at an average annual growth rate of about 6.5%. While delivering Nigeria's statement on sustainable cities, human mobility and international migration at the 51st session of Commission on Population and Development held in New York, Chairman of the Commission, Eze Druihoma, stated that Nigeria remains the most populous country in Africa and the 7th most populous in the world. He further revealed that Nigeria's urban population has grown at an average annual growth rate of more than 6.5% over the last 50 years, without commensurate increase in social amenities and infrastructure. And the Nigerian Army is set to showcase its military might to the largest gathering of African senior military leaders on the continent, known as African Land Forces Summit, ALFS 2018. This was revealed by the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukubu Ratai, represented by Major General David Amadu, the Chief of Training and Operation, at a press briefing on the African Land Forces Summit 2018 at the Army Headquarters, Abuja. Our correspondent, Austin Peacemaker Inaide, has more on the report.
The Nigerian Army is constantly carrying out training activities and updating its personnel in line with our constitutional role to aid civil authority in combating terrorism and other security challenges confronting the nation. Against this backdrop, the Nigerian Army, in conjunction with the U.S. Army African Command, is set to hold this year's African Land Forces Summit with the theme Unity in Strength, Combating African Security Challenges.
It will provide the Nigerian Army the forum to showcase its capabilities, project its image and military might to the largest gathering of African senior military leaders on the continent. This is in addition to providing a platform for countries to share experiences on global terrorism and other security challenges such as transnational threats and crimes.
The summit will afford military leaders of African countries the opportunity to strengthen existing relationships, develop new ways of tackling security challenges on the continent, and further facilitate cooperation.
Part of activities lined up for the summit include military demonstration exercise that will entail firing of the use of pyrotechnics. The exercise will take place at 176 Guards Battalion, Gwagwalada, commencing with rehearsals on 12th and 14th April 2018, while the grand finale will take place on 17th April 2018.
Participants will be drawn from all armies of African countries, Western partners, as well as representatives from the trade services, the Nigerian police, and the DSS, among others. It is hoped this summit will truly project the pride of the nation's image by showcasing its capabilities. Austin Peacemaker Inaide, TVN News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the extension of the Voluntary Assets and Income Declaration Scheme, also known as VADES, to June 30. Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, in Abuja on Wednesday, stated that the short extension after the original March 31 date is based on the appeals of professional bodies and individual taxpayers. This is in addition to the conviction of the Ministry of Finance that the overall objective to increase compliance will be attained with additional accruals to the government. President Buhari had in 2017 inaugurated the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan (ERGP) and the VAT tax amnesty as a first in the series of reforms that will transform the country's tax system and provide sustainable, predictable funding for all tiers of government. And still ahead, death toll increases in Algerian plane crash. Stay tuned. For almost a decade, the Nigerian army have given their all to ensure that our dear country is not overrun by Boko Haram insurgents. Some have in the process paid the ultimate price, while many will forever live with indelible scars occasioned by their determination to protect the country, no matter the hurdle. Despite these, they have remained resolute and undaunted, and today, all territories the insurgents once took control of have been recaptured and normalcy restored. And now, for the first time in a long time, the end of Boko Haram is foreseeable. Therefore, the wisest thing for the remaining insurgents to do is to surrender today or face total destruction from the army. Remember, the Nigerian army will stop at nothing to ensure that total peace is restored in all parts of the country. So, be wise and embrace peace today or get ready to be ruthlessly dealt with. This message is brought to you by the Coalition on Conflict Resolution and Human Rights in Nigeria.
Nigerians have tested political parties, religion and age. It is time to get a bridge builder to heal the wounds. Hassan Dan Kwambo. Under your watch as Executive Governor of Gombe State, you have been able to manage the state's resources in view of the numerous projects so far completed and the low statutory federal allocations accruable to the state. With your landmark achievements in healthcare, youth employment, women empowerment, road infrastructure, pipe-borne water, security, education and agricultural development, we are sure of a better Nigeria. 2019 is not about power or change, but rather it is about Dan Kwambo to replicate his humility and servant leadership. Dan Kwambo, Nigeria. Nigeria, Dan Kwambo.
For almost a decade, the Nigerian army have given their all to ensure that our dear country is not overrun by Boko Haram insurgents. Some have in the process paid the ultimate price, while many will forever live with indelible scars occasioned by their determination to protect the country, no matter the hurdle. Despite these, they have remained resolute and undaunted, and today, all territories the insurgents once took control of have been recaptured and normalcy restored. And now, for the first time in a long time, the end of Boko Haram is foreseeable. Therefore, the wisest thing for the remaining insurgents to do is to surrender today or face total destruction from the army. Remember, the Nigerian army will stop at nothing to ensure that total peace is restored in all parts of the country. So, be wise and embrace peace today or get ready to be ruthlessly dealt with. This message is brought to you by the Coalition on Conflict Resolution and Human Rights in Nigeria. Thanks for staying tuned. Reactions have continued to trail the declaration by President Muhammadu Buhari to run for a second term in office. In separate interviews, lawmakers at the National Assembly described the president's decision as a welcome development. The lawmakers are hopeful that the announcement has doused the tension in the polity caused by the earlier confusion of the president's indecision. Others, however, described it as a burden on the ruling All Progressives Congress.
So the president coming out to declare his intention to run gives us the opportunity to now focus on how to put things together and deliver our candidate.
Now that he has made his intention known, then of course those that maybe wouldn't want to contest with him may not contest with him, and those that may want to contest with him may also now have the opportunity now to air out their views, to come out to tell the nation, the world, what they intend doing.
There should be a fair playing ground for everyone that is interested to contest, which I believe Mr. President is a Democrat, and we'll see a lot of it, coming to happen.
I am happy, and I know majority of the APC members are happy, other appointed, elected, or even followers of APC are happy with the comments the president made. And now we are going back to the drawing board.
He has the chance of first refusal, right of first refusal, to go for a second term. For me, it's a burden on him and the party, and for Nigerians to vote for him or not to vote for him. So there's no big deal that he announced his intention to run, because it is his constitutional right.
And on the foreign scene, Turkey is urging Russia and the United States to exercise restraint amid reports of a possible U.S. strike on Syria in response to alleged chemical attack. Duma. The Turkish Defense Minister Nutan Kankli issued the advice following reports alleging that the Syrian government forces used chlorine in an attack on a city that killed up to 70 people. The U.S. blamed Damascus for the alleged chemical weapon use and said that it was considering all potential options in response to it. Turkish military authorities say if Russian-backed Syrian troops use the US-backed forces, Russia will not be able to stay away, leading to what might be a serious clash. And in sports, Nigerian Super Falcons will face Gambia in the second round of Ghana 2018 African Women's Cup of Nations qualifiers in June. The African women football champions were drawn in a first-round tie alongside Equatorial Guinea, South Africa, and Cameroon. Falcons' opponent Gambia lost 2-1 to Burkina Faso in their first-leg encounter at Ouagadougou on the 7th of April. African women football champions, AFCON runners-up, Cameroon will take on Congo, who defeated Central African Republic 3-1 on aggregate in the first round. The 7 winners of the second round will join hosts Ghana in the final tournament scheduled for 17 November to 1st December 2018. 8 Cameroonian athletes have absconded from their accommodation at the Gold Coast 2018 Commonwealth Games in Austria. The Cameroon team officials confirmed this through their press attaché, Simon Molombe. The country's team officials view the situation as desertion and that the missing athletes had been reported to Australian police. The missing athletes, made up of 3 weightlifters and 5 boxers, were last seen at different times on Monday and Tuesday. Cameroon said the group has valid Australian visas until 15th of May. And to end the news, a recap of the major stories. NAPTIP arrests 8 suspected human traffickers. Nigeria's population hits 198 million. Nigerian Army set to host African Land Forces Summit. President Buhari extends this deadline. And that's AM News on Television Nigeria. And do remember, be patient, be prayerful, and be committed to your goals. Someday, fortune will smile on you. I am Nten Ekpan. Thanks for watching.